What's good, family? What's good? Welcome back to Trauma Drinking with your host and friend, Romeo Jones. And not much to say tonight. Not gonna kid you. A little tired, and which hey, right? That's all in the game. And I just ate some food that didn't help the issue by any means. Actually, that's right when I began to get even more tired. But today, fairly fairly productive. Uh, Another day sober, and another day getting on the road to addressing, my traumas. Like I said yesterday, I would, and I did. Headed over to Above and Beyond with my guy Terry London, and many others, many others. I take a liking to the London Room. It's actually a room named after him in the building, and he teaches some. He pretty much teaches behavior therapy, and he rational emotive behavior therapy. That's the Above and Beyond sign, which I love it. It's a cool place. If you're in Chicago, Chicagoland, and you need help, with some kind of addiction or whatnot, they're all about harm reduction. It isn't, I've been 900 days sober, and now I had a drink and give me the coin back. Go back to, don't pass go. It's not that kind of approach. It's a harm reduction approach, which is really cool. And we were really working on different things, and this is a part of doing the work right with just your thinking, right? And he talked about the 17-year-old boy from Illinois, state of Illinois, a client of Mr. London's, and the kid won second in state, and his father goes second in state in some type of swim meet or swim event, and his father walks up to the podium and says, "You're a disgrace to this family. You ain't nothing. Blah 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 blah." And the kid, once he got on the phone with Mr. London, said, for one, he wanted to kill his dad, and for two, he just felt so much shame, as if he wasn't good enough. So anyway, at this point, we're kind of talking about unconditional self-acceptance, you know. And okay, even though your dad is this, does it make it so, right? And even though it's an honorable, admirable desire to want your parent, your father, to acknowledge you and love you and appreciate you, regardless if you took gold, silver, bronze, or never made it anywhere close to the state champ, never, even if you didn't make the team. It's an honorable desire. But does that mean he must do that? Right? So that class is on unconditional self-acceptance of yourself, of others, and of the world. And even though I haven't really gotten, and I don't even know if you want to call it a curriculum. At this point, I keep telling myself, dude, have fun with it right now. Have fun with it. You've got yourself a little vlog. Essentially, it's you're on YouTube. You've got yourself a vlog. Like I'm barely 3 days in. You know what I mean? Here I am trying to coach and teach and everything. Like, just relax, enjoy the ride, get your things going in order, get your finances in order. Every time I drink alcohol, my finances blow up. I almost thought like it was a gift from God to just He protected me from myself. But that was my trauma as well. I've heard this story from Mr. London before, and while we were in class, I said, "Hey, Mr. London, what about that 17-year-old boy who, and then he, man, went down that road?" And I like that story because I could relate to it. My mother, it's like, and he talked about the psychosis of the dad, or whatever you want to call it, psychotic, crazy, neurotic, whatever, a loony, couple screws loose, couple screws missing, but I really put my mom on a pedestal and I nearly worshipped her. She say jump, I say how high. Get it done, get it done, get it done, get it done. It was never enough. And when I fell short, oh yeah, condemn them. And then to numb that, I turned to alcohol. Ooh wee. But it's been a beautiful journey. I've learned a lot. Uh, I must say that pain, it reduced. You know what I mean? Because it's been a few days now. It's not so uncomfortable. But obviously there's something going on there. and that I didn't do. I didn't get on top of that. Talked to a girlfriend, and she said that a friend, a female friend, and we reconnected. She was actually my first girlfriend when we were little kids, and we could reconnected a few years ago. And I was like, "Hey, Bear," that's her nickname. I said, did a little bit of research, and it looks like I got a little fatty liver stuff going on. She said, "Oh, I had that before." I said, "What was it like?" She said, "I was fatigued. I stood up. I could barely walk. I was tired. My head was hurting. I was weak, fatigued, right?" And she said I had to call an ambulance, and they rushed me into the ER, and they told me that I had fatty liver disease, and that I should really slow down or consider stopping, but most definitely slow down. They gave me a special diet, and they also gave me some pills because they said, from some blood, like stuff was going into her bloodstream from the fatty liver. So, just taking our health seriously. My dad would say your greatest wealth is your health. Actually, today is the day I lost him to suicide, 8:33 a.m. Yeah, and I was fine. I didn't cry or anything. It's not because, oh, I didn't cry because I don't miss my dad. I am at peace with my father's not being here anymore. Like, totally. And anyone who isn't, I feel for you. But I am. Not to take anything away from you as far as with our conversation right here. I am. And that's how I know I know I can get repetition and redundant, but this vlog is for me, right? That's why in the beginning it's like, dude, don't go out trying to pitch and not even pitch, but teach and teach and teach. Okay, as you're learning, share. As opposed to, I'm here to educate. Down the line, who knows? You know what I mean? That'd be awesome. Like, I'd love for that to happen down the line. You know what I mean? Me to help another individual cross a road that I've crossed. Actually, from 2013 until this past year, I was a caddy. I was a caddy. Right? So what did I do? I coached golfers around a golf course that I'd been around before. Right? Like, you sure it's right to left 3 feet? I've only read it 100 times, right? Okay, I'm gonna trust you on this. I hope you do. Oh my God, thank you. No problem, man. You know what I mean? It's counterintuitive. I know it's a tricky one, dude. I told you hit it on the left. We landed on the right. Now we got to work from here. Hey, it happens. Thankfully, we made the green. So anyway, essentially, I've been a coach in my own little way, and I really am going through the biggest transformation in my life. In high school, I was a social drinker. So alcohol, even though alcohol in and of itself is a problem, it hadn't become a problem in my life yet. But I was dealing with trauma that 18 years. And then boom, I left home, start coping with alcohol. And anyway, a mentor of mine says if you look back on your life, every 8 to 12 years, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less, you'll notice you go through a pretty big transition. It's 2005. You know, we are out of the information age, right? The age of Google. Don't get me wrong, Google isn't going anywhere, but even the big heads at Google are like, whoa, this is a new thing, right? Like, remember like a 95 Dell, right? Compared to Google. Well, that's kind of the comparison. Google compared to AI, generative AI, these large language models. So I really just want to dial in and, not just in my life with alcohol, but also like professionally in career, trading time for, at a job. Unless you like that, then that's okay. But if you don't like that, wow, there's no way you can keep up with inflation. But that's a whole nother topic. But I want to wake up and do something I love. Because every day you wake up, you're going to have to grind. Every day you're not going to want to just hit the grind. But at least you're doing something you love. Like, if you're going to have to pound it out and work hard, at least be playing the sport you like. Imagine you're playing tennis and you don't really like tennis, but you're working your tail off to get to a state championship in tennis. I guess. What if it was a sport you like baseball? Now you're like, let's go. You know what I mean? And as motion creates energy. What does Bob Proctor say? Motion creates energy, something like that. But like, you know how something sucks, but once you get going, it's like it's like you know. So I'm still processing a lot of this. Uh, 2 days and like 21 hours or something like that right now. But that's besides the point. Really, just I was thinking about my mom and how we're back in communication, but at the same time, you don't I'm checking myself to make sure that the little boy inside of me, who Romeo, Rome, needs to go heal, isn't running to his mom, not to do it for him, but even just like, mommy. But more so like, I'm an adult male. I've overcome. I love you. And I said in my head, you'll probably have a better relationship with her as an adult than you did as a child. But just make sure that you're on your P's and Q's. The boundaries are there. I notice my mom tends to like the honeymoon stage a lot. Once a relationship conflict comes up, which is inevitable, I work with people. Obviously, there's a lot of times there's conflict that needs to be resolved. Sometimes small, sometimes a little bigger than that. But the journey is here. I'm excited for it. There's resources, but then you got to go get it. Me, I know I need to get this routine going. But anyway, I'll tell you something funny, right? When I was at while I was at Above and Beyond today, I came across this book, and they're like, "Yeah, sure, it's been there a long time. Take it." And this book was written in 1985. Some people were really ahead of their time. They weren't really talking about this stuff back then. I mean, yes and no. That was a lie. I take that back. But the many faces of addiction. Guess what the first one is? Sugar. Every time I get off the alcohol, every time I get off the booze, let me mute this. Let me mute this. I'm sorry, I forgot to mute my phone. I'm kind of like, boy, what kind of ringtone is that? Hello, Marta. Yeah, they still got Motorola's around, man. I told y'all, alcohol did I made a lot of lost iPhones. I had caught an attitude, but anyway, that's besides the point. Back to the topic. Alcohol. Second, caffeine, nicotine, marijuana, depressants, stimulants, opiates. I was reading the one on alcohol. It's about a successful doctor who didn't realize that she might have an alcohol problem. Well, she was drinking a lot, and she had an alcohol use disorder essentially, and she didn't realize it until she started treating people with alcohol use disorder. In her, they call it alcoholics back then. That was not a term, like it is today. And then she said, maybe I should check mine. And she didn't drink for I think 2 months. And then she said, wow, I have a much clearer mind. So maybe it affects everyone differently. Very much so. So you all, I'm the biggest transformation of my life, personally and professionally. I don't want to miss this age. I already do. I knew about Bitcoin when it was under 2 grand, but I was too busy laying up under my girlfriend and being drunk. It wasn't her fault. It was my fault, right? But I got this beautiful girl with the beautiful bosoms and the beautiful bottom, and I just want to drink the bottle and hold on her, and she just want to do whatever I want to do. Well, we should have been buying Bitcoin. But I ain't gonna cry about that. How about we not miss this boat? You feel me? So, and I feel a little intimidated in terms of I'm a solopreneur. Right now I still have a job in the E quadrant, but then in the S quadrant, I'm gonna become a coach. And in the beginning, it's gonna be about freeing yourself from the clutches of alcohol and reinventing yourself. I'm good. I didn't like the boozing. Like in those last days of me boozing, it was habitual. It was me being bored and not really having. My best friend lives in Tennessee right now, Not, and even if he was in Chicago, that doesn't mean we'll be laid up all the time. But on Thanksgiving, I'll talk to my family, but everyone's kind of doing their own thing. It's an interesting time. Like, no, we're not kids anymore, and I don't have kids of my own. And that's a little bit of an excuse. You know what I mean? But I noticed that at the end, like, wow, Thanksgiving tends to be a big one for you. I tend to spend October, November fairly much in the green. Then Thanksgiving comes. And then I'll be fucked up until the New Year, excuse my language. But right now, we started on Christmas. It's pretty much at the New Year. But, you know, dial in. Dial in. So, I'll never stop telling you all. I love you guys. I love you gals. With your handsome selves and pretty selves. Pretty lady, beautiful. I just want you to know. No disrespect, fellas. No disrespect, man. But that's it for this one. But I really want to do the alcohol experiment. I'm thinking in January. Even though I already have been 7 whatever days sober, I want to go through that thing and really unpack it and share, what I come across. And in the process, you be responsible. I suck financially, you all, just like my mom. That was my mentor financially. And my mom always at work. It's like, oh, you got some money? I ain't got no money. You ain't got no money? What you mean you ain't got no money? And here I am, just like, I'm always at work, I don't got no money. Well, I'm telling you, as far as the alcohol experiment goes, when I stay from drinking and stay away from the casinos, the money stacks, obviously, right? So, taking it one day at a time and sharing it with you all. That's it, that's all. Make today a short one. I feel tired. I'm about to go brush my teeth, wash my face, and pass out. You feel me? So, but yeah, I'll tell you already. The sugar habit is not the sugar habit, but the sugar cravings are somewhere, But where there's a will, there's a way, and there are answers. But will you, maybe the first class, and I'm gonna close out with you all. Let me know how you feel. Let me know what you think in the comments. Terry London had 2 classes. Well, you get to go to 3 classes a day, Monday through Friday there. The first class I was going to go to Family Trauma with Bonnie, but Bonnie wasn't there today. So I left Family Trauma because I didn't know the instructor. I didn't want to get to know her. I went back to Terry's class, and it was overcoming procrastination. And if I had my notes close, I'd go get it. But pretty much we have a low frustration tolerance, meaning, oh, I'm tired, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, oh, I don't feel like it, I deserve to take a break. And where was I going with that? Yikes. Time to get her done. Alright. I appreciate you all. You got anything you want to share, drop it in the comments below. Please. In the comments below. Over time, right now, I'll leave some, reach out to me on Instagram. Those are the 2 platforms you'll catch me on, outside of email, but YouTube and Instagram for a more, personal touch if you have it or not. So, right now we're growing. Listen, I am going into my cocoon right now, I'm like, a caterpillar. I've just been caterpillaring around for a while now. Well, just in different phases. But now I'm about to become what I believe. If I was a lion, I'd be a cub. About to become a lion with a mane. Kind of like Lion King. Or like a calf who becomes a bull. And it's going to be painful. It's the nature of the game. Diamonds come out of the rough, baby. Right? It's a piece of coal that handled pressure so extremely well, and then, ta-da, voila. All right, so see you all later. I love you. Have a good one.